The coronavirus acted as an accelerator for digital change that was already underway. What many analysts resisted for over a decade is now core to both survival and innovation. How to connect and intimate our experience when distance is critical for life protection. For many of us, working remotely comes as a shock, but it is also exciting. The plague is a threat, and at the same time, an invitation to listen to the noise of time and make sense of it. Freud's daughter Sophie died of septic pneumonia as a result of the Spanish flu. 100 years ago, on January 29, 1920, Freud wrote to his friend and fellow psychoanalyst Sándor Ferenczi.
Wafted away, nothing to say. And with us, my wife is very shaken. I think la séance continue.
Freud continued analysis with Ferenczi despite the tragic loss of his daughter. Freud's words, nothing to say, beg the question, what do we feel and what's the state of mind that escapes the language function? Our task as analysts is to listen to the silence while creating emotional vocabulary of the experience. Our call is to dive deep into our own vulnerability in search of meaning through the work of the unconscious. How to provide a good holding environment in analytic setting when we as analysts are as exposed and frail as our patients. The digital mindset is likely to persist in the world we inhabit and will affect every aspect of our lives. How to think about psychoanalytic training in its four axes on the frontiers of a new era. How to think about the social, political overlap in training for the generations of candidates who, for the first time in the history of psychoanalysis, are learning and forming their psychoanalytic identities exposed to huge changes in psychoanalytic setting and the frame. Is there going to be a new normal, and how to define this normality if it means learning how to live with viruses? If the governments of our respective countries tell us that we need to reach herd immunity, declare unreasonable measures, decide to manipulate the evidence to boost the economies, or expose us to danger to fit their own political gains, how do we act to maintain our ethical standards and keep dignity in our analytic attitude? How to deal with the uncanniness of the human condition and resist the temptation to fix it in the time of global pandemic? In these turbulent times, psychoanalysis can help us to think about the frontiers between survival and living and expose that uncanniness to itself. One of the main goals of psychoanalysis is reparation. Our work aims to heal through thinking and interpretation of the dynamics between internal and external worlds. This can't be done without fostering good working relationships and crossing international boundaries as the firm foundation for learning.